crossplay as well. All right next to transmog on the list of things that Destiny community has been asking for since 2014. Although probably not 2014, but it's always been a pipe dream of crossplay. But that's going to be very, very good. I think it can't be understated enough how good for the player population and the matchmaking, being able to just have this massive pool of players that's all in one and they aren't separated between Stadia, PC, and the consoles. It's going to be very good to have them all in one.
Absolutely. And the way they're handling PvP, I think, is the smart solution.
Definitely needed, definitely.
Yeah. Like, no question in my mind, that's absolutely how they should do it. And I don't know what kind of technical wizardry that takes, but kudos to the team for making it happen, because, that's inevitably going to be one of the really big sticking points for this, is how the Crucible reacts to all of it. But yeah, this is perfect.
Should be very good. Should be ideal for the player base. Just it's going to make matchmaking better, faster, more players, especially PvE wise. PvP wise, obviously making it so that console and PC players are separate. Although that's only if, you can play, if a PC player invites a console player, then the console player will then be in PC lobbies. But what about vice versa? What if a PC player joins a console lobby? Will that turn into a PC lobby?
That's a good question, and I'm
they
not
didn't say
100%
that.
sure on that. But as time goes on, I'm sure they'll offer some clarification, because, man, that would be...
you would hope not.
These are definitely things to figure out.
Yeah, you don't just want like a fire team of, or just like one console guy and then he invites 5 of their PC buddies, because the differences between a mouse and keyboard and a controller are vastly different, and especially, again, as we said, the skill gap, the difference between a player that can do just ridiculous things on a mouse and keyboard versus thumbsticks. It's just a very different world, so definitely needed that they're separated.
Mm-hmm. Like, if you are terrified of hunters on Xbox, just wait until they can double jump over you and immediately be looking straight at you.
Yeah.
There is no turn time on that when you're using a mouse. Welcome to DPI clutching.
Yeah, I'm sure the console, because obviously console players have been locked on 30 FPS for up until
the patch that came out with just after Beyond Light, where they changed it to
up until then, and then
allow
after
FOV
then
in 60 FPS.
They would have noticed for the first time, oh, this is the difference. I'm sure people knew, but then that was a perfect opportunity for people to see, like, oh wow, this is the difference between 30 and 60 FPS, and this is a wider field of view. Like, it's just so good that the PS5 and Xbox have just an evolved version of Destiny, how it should be. Destiny should not be in 30 FPS in this day and age. It's definitely 2021. We're past that, so it's good to see that it's moving forward, and it's very promising. They're also doing the Stasis. They're expanding the Stasis damage type, which is cool to see. They're actually going to make it a proper element, the same as the other 3, as opposed to just being like a half element what it was so far. But it's good to see they're building that out.
Which is exciting too, because that means that there's potential for broader enemy types, and encounter design now means that it's no longer just going to be that holy trinity of Arc, Solar, and Void. You've now got like an entire new sandbox element to account for. That's really, really...
Yeah, we'll add more depth to it.
I'm so excited for that. It's a small point seemingly, but it's actually kind of huge in its implementation.
Yeah, it is big. It's going to add a lot of depth to the game, a lot of interweaving interactions. Just the way this damage type affects this one, and it's going to just more depth to the whole sandbox. So expanding Stasis is very good, and it was something people had noted, because it was a half fleshed out element, so it's good to see that's going to be completed.
Half fleshed out, and yet also more fleshed out than all the other elements.
That's funny, actually. Yeah, you're right.
Like, in terms of like having weapons and the mechanics of shield breaks and burns and everything, not fleshed out at all. In terms of how the element functions between stasis crystals and being slowed and being frozen, and all the different effects that you can get from it, and aspects of fragments, and oh man, like way more fleshed out than Solar, Arc, or Void ever were.
Yeah, half fleshed out, but somehow incredibly potent and unforgettable. But yeah, so Stasis might get even stronger, it's not going to get more crazy, but it'll be well rounded, which is definitely good.